We will be discussing week 7 section 2. We have already completed week 7 section 1, where we have completed discussing civilization and culture. Today in week 7 section 2 we will be discussing cultural pluralism in India and the Indian constitution. How are they related, and why are we taking cultural pluralism in India, and why are we talking about the Indian constitution? Our manners, ways of communicating with one another, etc. are one of the most important components of culture. Even though we have accepted modern means of living, improved our lifestyle, our values and beliefs still remain unchanged. There is amazing cultural diversity throughout the country, and there is hardly any culture in the world that is as varied and unique as India. India is a vast country having variety of geographical features and climatic condition, and is home to some of the most ancient civilizations, including 4 major world religions: Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism and Sikhism. Indian culture is a composite mixture of varying styles and influences. Festivals in India are characterized by color, gaiety, enthusiasm, prayers and rituals. And in the realm of music, there are varieties of folk, popular, pop and classical music. The Indian culture has persisted through the ages precisely for the reasons of antiquity, unity, continuity and universality of its nature. Thus, within the ambience of Indian culture, one can identify Indian music, Indian dance, Indian cinema, Indian literature, Indian cuisine, Indian fairs and festivals, and so on. When we talk about Indian music, we can have so many types of music, varieties of music. You can have your Carnatic music, Hindustani music. Then you have your Indian dance, where you have your Kuchipudi, your Bharatanatyam, Manipuri. Then you have your Indian cinema, you have your Bollywood, you have your Tollywood. Then you have your Indian literature, Indian cuisine. You have a famous cuisine from the south, from the north. And then when we talk about Indian fairs and festivals, you have the Kumbh Mela, you have the Suraj Kund festivals and so many other festivals. So when we talk about Indian culture, it is diverse. Indian culture, in spite of its diversity, tells us about the importance of cooperation and better living amongst ourselves, and subsequently sends the message of making this world a better place to live in. Our culture is so diverse that when others see how diverse our culture is, but we are living as a united country, we are united, we are having a peaceful coexistence. So we are showing an example of how, in spite of our diversity, we are united. We can have peaceful coexisting in spite of our diversity. So this is what people discuss or talk about when they talk about Indian culture. They talk about unity in diversity. When many cultures coexist in a given geographical area without one dominating the other, it is known as cultural pluralism. Which means pluralism, it means that more than one. You can have peaceful coexistence. You can have cultures coexisting in a given geographical area without one dominating the other. It is not saying that one culture would dominate the others. If such things takes place, if such cultural monogamy does not happen in India, we have what is called cultural pluralism, where many cultures coexist in a given geographical area. There is a common national culture in India, but at the same time, the various communities have the freedom to maintain and develop their own cultural and religious traditions, so long as they are not detrimental to the unity and general welfare of the nation. So this is cultural pluralism in the Indian context. That is, various communities have the freedom to maintain and develop their own cultural and religious traditions, so long as they are not detrimental to the unity and general welfare of the nation. This is what is called cultural pluralism in the Indian context. Our former Prime Minister Nehru described the unity in diversity within India when he said, "It is fascinating to find how the Bengalis, the Marathas, the Gujaratis, the Tamils, the Andhras, the Oriyas, the Assamese, the Malayalis, the Sindhis, the Punjabis, the Pathans, the Kashmiris, the Rajputs, and the central block of the Hindustani speaking people have retained their peculiar characteristics for hundreds of years and have remained distinctively Indian." In spite of so many identity, in spite of so many cultural plurality, for example, in spite of me coming from the northeast part of India, other coming from the other parts of India, he or she may be a Bengali, an Android, a Tamilian, an Oriya, a Malayali. In spite of this, we have distinctively remained Indian. We are bounded by what is called we have what is called a peaceful coexistence. We are bounded by what is called Indian culture, and Indian culture is grand and unique and has fostered other culture. We can call Gandhi the father of the nation, the embodiment of Indian cultural heritage. We can call Gandhiji the father of our nation, the embodiment of Indian cultural heritage. Why is it so? He was the one who highlighted Indians' culture and spoke of its characteristic of nanimity, flexibility, and above all, its synthesis. The history of the country's culture goes back to the ancient past, or we can certainly line it up at least with the Dravidian era. Later on, many other cultures came in contact with the Indian culture and easily merged themselves into it according to the circumstances and conditions that prevailed in India. In the same context, Gandhiji regarded the homogeneity of the Indian environment as the basis of this synthesis. What we can say is, in spite of so many diverse culture, languages, ways of life, belief system, value system, in spite of so many diversity, we are under the umbrella of Indian culture. There is a homogeneity which identifies us as Indian, in spite of so many cultural diversities. When we talk about diversity, in India is one of the most religiously diverse nations in the world, with some of the most deeply religious societies and cultures. Religion still plays a central and definitive role in the life of so many of its people. The religion of more than 80% of the people is Hinduism. Islam is practiced by around 13% of all Indians. It is the birthplace of Hinduism, Sikhism, Buddhism, Jainism, and they are accepted with its rich cultural tapestry. The religions of Islam, Christianity, Zoroastrianism, and Judaism are celebrated in their unique ways. India is a secular country. There is no state religion. India has no official or established state religion. So this is the beauty of what our nation is, because it does not have any state religion. People from various religious background are in this beautiful country where they practice their own faith, they celebrate their own festivals, and there is what is called secularism. There is no, everyone can adhere to their religious faiths and practices. There is no one monopoly of religion. So, in spite of India, which is which can be called the most religiously diverse nations in the world, it has its beauty because we as Indians have a very peaceful coexistence in spite of we belonging to so many other religious backgrounds. When we talk about language, why do we talk about language? We talk about language because there are currently, the information that I have till date is there are 22 official languages. Each has its distinctive script. Besides, there are many non-Indian languages spoken in the country, and a total of more than 1,652 languages and dialects. So we have so many languages, we have so many scripts, we have so many non-Indian languages which are spoken in the country, we have so many dialects. In spite of all this, we are united as one. In spite of our diversity with regard to religion, with regard to languages, we are a united whole. We are one united nation. Among the great Indian thinkers who molded independent India are Nehru, Rabindranath Tagore and Mahatma Gandhi. Like Nehru, Tagore also consistently stressed on unity in diversity. It is because of these great Indian thinkers, the very motto of unity in diversity is practiced so faithfully. We are able to accommodate others irrespective of their religion, irrespective of their languages, irrespective of their caste, creed, color, race. It is by celebrating the diversity of cultures that true unity could be achieved. He was one of the greatest champions of Indian pluralism. He believed in liberal pluralism, which encouraged both the autonomy of individual and also acknowledged that this autonomy was also possible in the context of multiple cultural traditions. Tagore's concept of autonomy was based on the ability to think critically about oneself and one's traditions, the ability to courageously put them to the test posed by the example of others and their ways of life. Another very great Indian thinker is the father of our nation, Mahatma Gandhi, who aptly describes the plurality of religions when he was asked whether he was a Hindu, and he replied, "Yes, I am. I am also a Christian, a Muslim, a Buddhist and a Jew." We have Republic Day Parade of India, which is a symbol of cultural pluralism. And a lot of you may have watched the Republic Day celebration at Delhi on January 26. It is a marvelous display of India's cultural pluralism. And why do we celebrate January 26 as our Republic Day? It is on January 26, 1950, it was a day when the Indian Republic and its constitution came into force, and therefore this day is celebrated as Republic Day, and we have a grand parade which is held in the capital, New Delhi, from Raisina Hill near the Rashtrapati Bhavan, that is the President House, along the Rajpath, past India Gate and on the historic Red Fort. So when we talk about cultural pluralism, in the beginning when I said we will be talking about cultural pluralism and the Constitution of India, why are we going to talk about cultural pluralism and the Constitution of India? We are going to talk about this because cultural pluralism is reflected in the secular democratic framework of the Indian Constitution. Through its political and institutional policy, the Constitution recognizes and accommodates the diversity of India. Article 350A of the Constitution directs every state to provide adequate facilities for instruction in mother tongue at the primary stage of education of children belonging to linguistic minority groups, and empowers the President to issue proper direction to any state. Article 29 Section 2 forbids any discrimination against any citizen on the basis of religion, race, caste or language in the matter of admission into educational institutions maintained or aided by the state. Article 29 Section 1 and Article 30 Section 1 stipulate that minorities can establish and administer educational institutions of their choice, and the state cannot compel them to attend institutions not to their liking. The linguistic diversity of India is evident in the 8th schedule of the Indian Constitution, which officially recognizes 22 languages. Hindi is the official language and English is also the associate official language. In India, multiculturalism is a special kind of relationship adopted by the states towards different cultural communities that fall within its sovereignty. In the Indian model, multiple religions are part of its foundation. Even if the state is not identified with a particular religion, there is official and public recognition granted to the religious communities. It respects liberty, equality, encourages peace and tolerance. It also tries to ensure equal dignity and status to members of all religion. There is a strong effort to encourage all to enter temples irrespective of their caste. The state also shows respect for religious communities by giving public support. India's constitutional secularism allows decisions on individual or community values by allowing flexibility between the public and private within a democratic process based on non-violence, protection of basic human rights, including the right not to be disenfranchised. That is, you have the right to vote if you are a citizen of India if you have attained the age of 18. The government promotes cultural pluralism in many ways by policy that recognize and celebrate public holidays of minority religions, encourage the celebration of festival holidays of all cultures, encourages the music and arts of all cultures, and encourage the representation of cultures in different areas of life. The government also provides funds or subsidize important religious custom as the Hajj pilgrimage. So when we talk about the Indian Constitution, when we talk about cultural pluralism, we have the Constitution of India, which provides security, which forbids any discrimination against any citizen on the basis of religion, race, caste or language, and also it stipulates that minorities can establish and administer their educational institutions of their choice, and also the state cannot compel them to attend institutions not to their liking. So the beauty of India's diversity, the cultural pluralism of India is protected and it is upheld by the Constitution of India, which protects minorities, linguistic minorities, religious minorities. So with this particular lecture, we have completed week 7 section 2, which is cultural pluralism and the Constitution of India. Thank you so much.